Let me demonstrate my musical prowess by playing for you a myopic piece, which is no other but the Gambia's national anthem.
All right,
yes.
That would be nice. Bravo! That's apart from the national anthem in military terms, they call it the general salute.
Exactly.
The national salute.
Exactly.
National
yes,
salute.
Thank you.
Very well. That's always accorded to His Excellency the President whenever he's around, and of course whenever we want to show the unification of the Gambian people, the national anthem is always there.
Yeah.
Great piece of work.
Yes.
I don't know whether you remember who did this one. Might give it to you. It was composed by a guy called J.F. Howe.
Yes.
J.F. Howe and his wife.
His wife, yes. J.F. Howe did the lyrics.
The lyrics, of course.
And then the wife was a musician. Yeah. He applied the musical
based on a song for the Kabadumbuya.
Fuller song.
No, it's a Mandinka Jaliba for the Kabadumbuya.
Yeah, exactly.
As played by the late Jali Nyamasuso.
Yes, exactly.
Jali Nyamasuso used to live in Bakau.
Yes, okay.
Yes, anyway, right, now we'll look at some of your challenges in life.
Yeah.
I think in 2008 you were not feeling very well.
Yes.
And you have to be evacuated to be taken care of medically.
Yes, that's correct.
Could we revisit that traumatic time?
Oh, yes. It was on a Tuesday. I went to the Security Council with the Vice President for an official meeting, as usual. And I sat down for some time, and I couldn't get up. I got a boil on my right hip. So I was taken to Westwood Clinic, and the late Dr. Peters did an operation for me, and then he realized that it was a very serious pus, and then he realized that I was diabetic. And then I had to be evacuated to UK. And thanks to the generosity of the President, said that His Excellency Sheikh Professor Alaji Dr. Yaya Jammeh, who put the medical bills, and I got a letter from the defense headquarters in Banjul, allowing my bodyguard, then Lance Corporal Sergio Demba, to accompany me to UK. I was evacuated, and I came back, and I resumed duty by the grace of God.
Did that have anything to do with avoiding your office? I mean, seeing the nature of your work and how you go about it meticulously?
Well, no. I was on sick leave for 6 months. Yeah, so during that time, I had to be off duty, and my deputy was holding the fort in my absence until I resumed.
Dr. Carroll, what do you like best in life?
I like public speaking, research, writing articles, debating, playing tennis, and of course music. And I like singing as well.
Oh,
in fact, right now in the Methodist Church, we have a very vibrant bishop in the passing of the most Reverend Anna Caroline Feilheim. So between the Christmas and the New Year season, we're having a series of praise time afternoon sessions. And I've sung 7 solos, which I intend to compile and make it a publication, which is protected by Gambia copyright law. I've hired the services of Mr. Seling Babu Nyang of Gloucester Street to put them all together for me and to make it be a piece of publication which I will sell for helping and give to charity to the church and to the youths and to help students who are going to pay their school fees. So that's a good
will there be a launching?
Hopefully, in the appropriate time.
Doctor, as a man of the legal profession, I'm sure you also look around beyond the horizons of the Gambia and look at what is what is prevailing in the world now. Barack Obama, let's go to him now, President of the United States. A couple of days to come, he'll be celebrating his second inauguration. First African American
Yeah.
to be a president of the United States of America. Nobody ever believed in it.
Yeah.
I have a dream come true.
But I beg to differ, because the author of that phrase himself believed in that, as Martin Luther King. He said in his speech, I have a dream speech, and I quote, "I have gone up to the mountain top, I've looked over, and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land." I think that Obama being the first black Afro-American president is Martin Luther King's dream coming true. And in fact, Obama has a meaning. You know what it means?
Well,
it's an acronym.
Okay.
It means originally born in Africa to manage Americans. Yes, makes sense.
Originally born in Africa to manage America.
Yes, it makes sense.
He's not doing very well, by the way, with the economy.
Well, no man is perfect. To err is human, to forgive is divine.
Okay.
He has a Kenyan extraction. That's what I mean. He was not born physically in Africa, but he has his roots or genealogy from Africa. So it makes sense. So his name matches his occupation and his status.
Dr. Carroll, I'll take you to Mali right away.
Yes.
The intervention of French forces, is it that Africans cannot manage, they cannot take care of their own problems? Mali was a French colony. Mali has a problem. French soldiers have to come to Mali to manage that. It's just
but you must bear in mind, on the landscape of your mind, that the French troops are not doing it single-handedly.
Yeah.
They are doing it with cooperation with other West African forces.
Well, but they were the ones who initially went before the other countries came along.
But it doesn't matter. Once action is taken, that's what they are more proactive, exactly. But what I'm saying is the bureaucracy involved in sending troops to Mali from the sub-region. But under the UN Charter, it is clearly stated that if an independent sovereign state needs help from outside forces, they're free to do so. And that, I think, is very illegal under international law.
Wouldn't it have been more prudent if there was an African Union standby force?
Well, we are going back to Kwame Nkrumah's days. Kwame Nkrumah talked about the African High Command. But at that time, the AU was divided. You have the Monrovia group and the Casablanca group. Because the fear, Nkrumah wanted to overshadow them and become African emperor. And that was not the case. If you go to Ghana today, we sit in a hotel room, at every opening of the TV station, there is a broadcast for Nkrumah and the closing. So they regret getting out of power. But he was a man who was born ahead of his time. So I think Nkrumah's idea was very ideal. He talked about the African High Command. If that had been in place, perhaps apartheid in South Africa would have been quashed much earlier than it did.
Dr. Carroll, I'll task you, let's look at the Arab Spring.
According to, again, the Atlantic Charter, every people, no matter how big or small, have got a right of self-determination. You know, and even under the African Charter of Human People's Rights, you talk about the right of minorities to, to govern to be the architects of their own destiny. Well,